It was really good. So, I say we watch it.
This is the smallest 3x3 door in all of Minecraft. Of all the countless 3x3s out there, this door tops them all. But this thing didn't just happen overnight. In fact, it took 14 years to get here. So, to properly tell the story of an accomplishment as big as this...
Yo, Feliz with a $50 donation. Thank you, bro. Cornball. Yo, thank you so much for the $50. I don't know why you had to call me a cornball, though. Yo, W Feliz in the chat. Thank you so much, bro.
We need to go all the way back to the beginning, on June 30th, 2011, with the release of Beta 1.7. This is when piston doors first became possible, with the addition of sticky pistons, allowing you to both push and pull blocks. Now, the trailer for this update already had a 2x2 door in it, and it wasn't just a basic 2x2, it was flat against the wall.
That's called a Jeb door, by the way. I know how to build those from memory.
So that milestone was cleared before the public even had a chance to play around with these things. So, as soon as the update dropped, the next logical step was, of course, a 3x3.
Okay, 3x3 doors are pretty easy if you don't have a middle block.
Fill this corridor with blocks and remove them.
I can do it without a middle block.
How hard can it be? Well, clearly not too difficult, as very soon afterwards, we started seeing
he knows how to build the most simplest door.
Pop up. But as they were the very first ones, they were of course gigantic. After all, piston doors were a brand new concept, so people hadn't had enough time to get good at them yet. And it didn't help that there were only 11 redstone components at the time, compared to the 68 items in the redstone tabs today.
What? There are not that many redstone items. What? Wait, what do all of these even do? This is a leaf. How does this have to do with redstone? How does a chest boat have to do anything with redstone? Why is there a redstone ore? What does redstone ore have to do with redstone? A leaf? Why is there a leaf? How does any of that have to do with redstone?
Tabs today. But despite that limitation, within just a few months, we started seeing much smaller designs popping up, like this one made by C&B Minecraft, one of the OGs of redstone YouTube. And in the months that followed, many more designs like...
Yeah, this is complicated. Like, this is like, you got one redstone dust connected to a block, connected to a redstone, connected to a piston on the side. I couldn't build redstone like this.
It's popped up. Until April of 2012, when a player called I Am Mr. Hello How Are You came along. Yeah, some of the usernames in this video are going to be a bit long and weird. Just bear with me. He blew
a leaf works like cables with observers.
Water with a 3-wide 3x3, which was likely the smallest at the time. We're only 10 months into this 14-year journey, and we already have a 3-wide 3x3. Things were progressing incredibly fast, but over the next 2 months, that progress would only get faster, because on June 30th, 2012, exactly 1 year after sticky pistons were added, Deco the Redstoner posted this 2-wide 3x3.
Guys, I have a question.
Smoking the competition. This was
Is Mumbo Jumbo actually good at redstone?
Size, as the 3-wide door was 210 blocks, and Deco's was just 176.
Like, is he competing in this competition? Like, could he make a really small redstone door like this?
And it would have actually been 154 if it weren't for this little bit sticking out the side. But little did people know, this wouldn't last long at all.
Really?
While 2-wide
Some people
was
are saying
achieved
no.
much faster than 3-wide, the next barrier fell even faster. In fact,
Zach's Life, thanks
this
so much
barrier
for the $2,
may as well
and thank
have
you,
not
Nelson,
been there
too.
at all.
Thank you.
Because literally, the very next day, on July 1st, 2012, Redstone Innovation dropped an absolute bomb on the door community. A 140-block 3x3 that was just 1 block wide.
Why
it took 10 months for the 3-wide
Why
barrier
do you need it to be
broken.
1 block wide,
and
though?
then, in the span of just 2 months, we had made the jump from 3-wide all the way down to 1-wide. And to top it all off, this door didn't even have its own dedicated video. He just casually mentioned it while he was showcasing a bunch of other 3x3s. You know, not like it's a big deal or anything. Now, at this point, it's probably worth mentioning that back in those days, nobody really kept track of records like they do today. There wasn't a publicly available, verified list of this stuff, so it was kind of hard to know if...
Nowadays, there's a verified list of who can build the best redstone door?
What you were looking at was the real deal.
Okay.
And it didn't really help that no one would put smallest in their video titles. They'd always say something like,
extremely compact,
or just small 3x3 door. so we can't know for sure what was the smallest at the time. Nobody was super concerned about size. It was more about just posting cool stuff that worked. But with this thing, it had clearly become a race to see who could make the smallest redstone. I mean, Sticky Pistons had only been in the game for a year and a day, and we already had a 1 wide 3x3. Who knew what would come next? So it was around this time that people actually started keeping track of records. But as it turned out, they may as well have not even bothered for 3x3s.
Honestly, I think I could break the record of whatever there is nowadays. If I just think long enough for like maybe a week straight, I think I could probably beat the record.
They'd just be writing the same name over and over again, as one player would go on to dominate the 3x3.
I mean, I feel like anyone can. Like, how hard do people try to make the smallest redstone door?
And his name was Minecraft Kriz. Remember that name, because he's going to be showing up a lot. Later that year, Kriz lowered the record to just 132 blocks.
I don't think I can.
And then, just 8 days later, he lowered it again,
probably only like,
all the way down to 108.
10 people in the world that are trying to make the smallest
miles ahead of the competition. And this record stood for a very long time. In fact, it was the longest standing 3x3 record so far.
Why are you guys calling me cornballs?
Months went by, and nobody could beat it. 2012 rolled into 2013.
Wait, go back. This is really confusing. Why in the world is there a boat? Why is there a boat up to a pressure plate? The piston pushes up the boat to the pressure plate? Like, dude, doesn't a boat make it no longer 1 block wide? Because like a boat's a little bit wider than 1 block.
And nobody could beat it. 2012 rolled into 2013. And the lever on the side. And still
the lever doesn't count.
It seemed like 3x3s had hit their first major wall. It wasn't that door makers had suddenly stopped improving. In fact, they were only getting better and better as time went on. But the severely limited choice of redstone components was now holding them back. So to break through this wall, they needed something more, a larger set of tools that would allow them to utilize their skills to the fullest. They needed an update.
Hoppers. What else? What's the update? Hoppers.
And in March 2013, that update finally came, with the release of a very special version, Minecraft 1.5, the Redstone update. Before this version of Minecraft, Redstone was notoriously buggy and unreliable, often randomly breaking at times. So 1.5 changed how Redstone worked to make it more consistent. It also added not 1, not 2, but 4 revolutionary new redstone components.
3 revolutionary products.
These were comparators, hoppers, droppers, and redstone blocks. And just 11 days after this update dropped, using just one of these redstone blocks allowed Kriz to lower his own record again to 96 blocks, a size that is still impressive even today. At this point, he seemed completely untouchable. But that didn't stop people from trying. And later that year, Redstone Innovation was back, this time with a 90 block 3x3, finally beating out Kriz by 6 blocks. But this design,
none of the new redstone materials are even used in this,
is where the 3x3 door ran into its first controversy. You see, Redstone Innovation achieved this size by using something called a torch burnout to make the double extender work. Basically, if you make a redstone torch power itself, it'll blink on and off really fast, before eventually fizzling out. And even though this can be pretty useful, people really didn't like this, because burnouts didn't stay turned off forever. They'd randomly start blinking again all by themselves. So if you built one of these in survival, you could just be walking by it, minding your own business, and all of a sudden, your door starts doing this. Now, this wasn't a problem if you kept the door shut most of the time, but if you got unlucky and you opened the door right as the torch started blinking, then it would break. And a door that randomly breaks doesn't qualify as working. For it to count as the record, it needs to work every time. If it doesn't, then it's unreliable. So, torch burnouts were banned, and this door was not accepted as the smallest. The record still belonged to Kriz. It wasn't until March of 2014, a full year after Kriz's record, that we saw another smaller 3x3. This time, it came from a redstoner called Puzzle 1 Sisu M90. See what I meant earlier? Yeah, anyway. he came up with an 88 block 3x3, beating Chris by 8 blocks this time. But again,
what in
it used
the world are these designs? Look at
beating
this.
Chris by
Why is there a minecart that pushes up into a tripwire? How does that save space? Like, and there's like a slab right here. Like, there's some weird there's a hopper. What does the hopper do?
8 blocks this time. But again, it used torch burnouts, so it was immediately disqualified.
Oh,
the only way
torch
people could
burnouts.
actually beat Chris was by making doors that were unusable. The closest anyone got was a redstoner called ABH037, who managed to tie Chris's record at 96 blocks. But as it turned out, his door was almost identical to Chris's.
Wait.
This was the only part that was different
door's
between
different
the
now.
two. The only real difference was that ABH's design was slightly
Wait, look at the difference. This one, the pistons. Wait, go back.
that was different between the two.
Look, I'll play in slow mo. So y'all can see. Look. Wait, just wait. Look.
The only real
Look. What? They're both doing this. Okay, now they fill in the door in a weird order now. It wasn't like that before. Oh, yeah, nah. No, I could solve. There is so much you could do with redstone. No, I could solve this. I could beat the record. I want to try it after this video is over.
difference was that ABH's design was slightly faster. But other than that, they were more or less the same door. It was as if the only person who could legitimately beat Chris's record was
Try it.
Chris.
Bet.
But even he couldn't beat his own record. I mean, in his own video, he himself said this.
I don't think this will ever be beaten.
Oh,
So
dumb
once
dumb.
again, it seemed like
Dumb,
3x3s
bro. What about
had hit
updates?
another wall.
Dumb, dumb.
And just like before,
What am I saying?
the only way to break through that wall was a new update. And after Puzzle's Door, that update would come just 1 month later, when Mojang released a very
Oh,
special
slime blocks. I didn't even
snapshot
think
for
about
the
slime
upcoming
blocks.
1.8 update.
I remember when these were
This
added, too.
brought slime blocks to the game, giving us the ability to make everyone's favorite redstone contraptions, flying machines. And a redstoner called Mazuma Games used these slime blocks to finally beat Chris with another 88 block 3x3.
But he's
This
building
time
out of bedrock.
without torch
That's not
burnouts.
fair.
It seemed like Chris's reign was
never mind.
finally over.
Obsidian works too.
But once again, people found an issue with this. You might be starting to notice a bit of a pattern here. You see, slime blocks stick to other blocks, which
Right.
is normally very useful. I mean, after all, that's how it was possible to build this 3x3 in the first place. But the problem is, slime blocks aren't just sticky on one side, they're sticky on every side.
Right.
So when you slap a wall in front of this thing and open or close the door, the slime block moves all these blocks.
No,
and
who
leaves
cares?
a bloody hole in the
Who
wall.
cares?
And I don't know about you, but personally, I don't want a piston door that griefs my base.
They better count this. Yo, what do you guys think? I think they should still count it. They should still count the 3x3 door. I think what matters is that in the 3x3 door, that the blocks around are still safe. Any further than that, like the blocks up here, like that doesn't matter.
What about you? But personally,
Y'all don't think they should
I don't
allow
want
that?
a piston door that griefs
What?
my base. So slime blocks simply
Are you
aren't
guys kidding me?
compatible with
You don't think they should count? Are you guys kidding me? What about a block all the way under the floor? If it's under the floor and it moves, does it count? That's so dumb. That's just a made-up rule. Nah, you know who made this rule? Whoever had the past record without slime blocks, that's the guy that made the rule because he didn't want to lose. Wow, bro.
1 wide redstone.
That's not cool.
Technically, it's not even 1 block wide anymore. It's 3 wide. So surprise, surprise, yet another 3x3 was disqualified.
What? That is so dumb.
But once the 14W25A snapshot came out just 2 months later, none of that would matter anyway. This snapshot didn't bring any new redstone components or anything, but it did change existing ones, namely redstone torches. Now, they would no longer randomly turn on again after burning out. Once they burned out,
That's why I
they
never knew
stayed
that
out
existed.
until you manually activated them again. And so, just like that, torch burnouts were now legal, meaning that Puzzle's 3x3
Nice.
retroactively became the world record.
Hi, Donut. Yo, what's
This
up, guys?
was the
Welcome
very
to the
first
stream.
time that a door wasn't a world record when it was released, and then became a world record later through an update. But you see, the thing is, not everyone was happy with this. On one hand, you had the people who had been waiting for this to happen for ages. They thought it was some awesome new tech to work with. And on the other hand, you had the people who still hated burnouts. To them, it was very dissatisfying that previously disqualified doors could become world records in this way. Even though the thing that made them controversial was now
But they're
gone,
already smaller
they
than
still
what those
saw
are.
burnouts as a cheaty, unskillful shortcut to making your redstone small.
Bro.
So the door community was now split.
Yo,
into
I'm gonna make a new redstone door community, and here are the rules. There are no rules. As long, how about this? Who would join my redstone community? It's a 3x3 door, but it doesn't matter about anything else. All that matters is that if those blocks are there, and then they disappear. I think that's a better community, because when there's regulations about things that do not matter, it's just so dumb. It's just so dumb.
2 camps. And records like
Wait, actually no, because then like, okay, I just thought of a way to beat the record. Basically, you put down, here, look. Look. Okay, look. Here's my redstone door. You ready for it? Okay, right? Ready? I'm gonna wait here until Endermen take the blocks away. I just won. I just built the smallest redstone door. Oh my gosh. No rules, no regulations. This is the best one. There we go. Enderman can't pick up that block? Okay. Then watch this. Can they pick up dirt? Can they pick up stone? What can they pick up? Dirt? This is my redstone door. Just wait here until the Endermen take it away. Boom. Easy. Not gonna lie, you're overhyped. Okay. I don't know who hypes me up, but I appreciate the... And that's not really advice. I mean, I appreciate the criticism. Thank you, bro. I'll think about how to make that better. Or, I don't know. Sorry.
this one were heavily disputed.
It's not redstone. Where's the redstone? How are you guys mad about where's the redstone? Dude, all right, bro. Yeah, I had some redstone. Like, boom. There it is. There's the redstone. Like, you guys are so dumb. Like, bruh. You guys are so dumb. How does it go back? You just got to get lucky, bro. You hope that the Enderman places stuff back. No way in the video do they have a redstone door that's smaller than this. No way. Smaller than one redstone dust on top? No way, bro.
But a year later, in June 2015, it seemed like this dispute might finally be settled. And in the most dramatic way possible, when seemingly out of nowhere, two redstoners called Sep Games and It's Lucid came out with something that seemed simply too good to be true. A 77 block 3x3.
Oh, that's
beating
tiny.
both Criz
Whoa.
and Puzzle.
Whoa.
Without slime blocks.
What's crazy about this one is that there's nothing on the side. That's
But,
really cool.
As you've probably come to expect by now, in true door community fashion, this was immediately struck down, with yet more controversy. As it turned out, it was too good to be true. Never mind the fact that we were already back to using burnouts, this thing also used daylight sensors, which meant the door didn't work at nighttime. It forced itself shut.
That is
and
so
even
dumb.
worse, it got messed up by the rain
Okay,
too.
now I'm
So
understanding why there are some of these dumb rules. But the fact that there are these dumb rules makes me think like the race is dumb anyways. Like, who would compete in this with these dumb
No
rules?
surprises here, this door was also rejected. And so, the dispute over the record wasn't settled after all. It had been almost a year since 1.8 officially dropped, and still no one had made a 3x3 that 1. Beat Criz's design, and 2. Had everyone agreeing it was legit. It was as if Minecraft 1.8 hadn't helped break this barrier after all, and so if we were going to satisfy everyone, another redstone update was needed. But this time, that update wouldn't come so soon. The rest of 2015 came and went, with no update. And the months just kept going by after that.
Why does the door need to be so
Until
short?
finally,
I don't
in
know,
November
bro.
2016, we
It
arrived
doesn't.
at Minecraft 1.11. One of the most ridiculous Minecraft versions ever. An update that would blow the whole of Redstone wide open by introducing the single most powerful Redstone component in all of Minecraft.
Bro.
Of course, I'm talking
I didn't learn
about
how
the
these things
Observer.
worked for so long after they were added. All right, we don't need this whole edit. Come on, we observers, bro, really chill out. We don't need this whole edit.
So why were observers such a big deal? Well, they solved one of Redstone's oldest and biggest challenges. How do you make a sticky piston let go of a block? To do this before observers, you would need one of these circuits, or
I used to
something
build
similar.
those.
When activated,
Wait!
these will generate a
Oh, I used to build these for my doors so that buttons would work as levers. If you're a Redstone pro, you know what I'm talking about.
short redstone pulse that'll make a piston extend and retract very quickly, letting go of its block. This is something that almost every piston door needs.
Cap, why
but
are you saying
generating
cap?
these short pulses uses up
Bro's
a
trying to
lot
fit
of
in.
space.
I
It's
promise
the
you, I used to do
single biggest
Redstone all the
reason
time.
Why the bottom of this 3x3 extends down so far.
I built, like,
And it's why
elevators,
people kept resorting
doors,
to torch burnouts, even though they knew they weren't allowed, since that was the smallest
lights
and
on the
easiest way
ceiling
to get
that
short
turned on and
pulses.
off.
But the Observer took all of that and packed it into a single block.
Yeah, like I never
could-
knew you could do that. Like back when I did Redstone, observers weren't a thing.
Forget all
Same with comparators. I have no idea what comparators do.
these, because we now have
Majestic
a
with the
one-block
raid.
solution
Yo,
for
yo,
generating
welcome
short
everybody.
pulses. And this
Yo, what's good?
is busted. Like, really busted. Once these things came out, basically every Redstone record fell overnight.
Yo,
It's
that's a lot
that
of
powerful.
Redstone.
Everything was now like 50% observers. And from this day forward, if you wanted to break a record, observers were mandatory. This was the start of the current era of Redstone, the Observer era. And so, just 2 days into this update, a Redstoner called Jeffrey Zhu posted this 3x3, demolishing Chris's record with ease,
Oh,
taking the
that's
record from 96
small.
blocks all the way down to a staggering 63 blocks.
Yo.
A truly ridiculous size. But as impressive as this was, I think we can all agree that the most ridiculous thing of all is that it took almost 4 years and 3 major Redstone updates, including the most powerful Redstone component ever made, for Chris to be indisputably beaten. His utter domination of 3x3s in the pre-Observer era is easily one of the greatest accomplishments in Redstone.
The records are made like almost immediately after updates come out. So I don't think it's that impressive that it took multiple updates. Like the second the new update came out, of course he gets beaten. Like it's all dependent on the update. Like I feel like isn't everybody getting the Redstone build as small as possible the second the Redstone build comes out? So it's not a competition of who's the best. It's a competition of who does it the fastest. And it's just all about whatever the update limits you to do.
Redstone history.
Like I feel like so far, except for the very start, there hasn't been skill. It's just been whatever items are in the game.
So, Chris's reign as the king of 3x3s was finally over, and we now had a new world record holder. Now, if history is anything to go by, you'd think it'll be another very long wait for the record to be broken again. But as it
Please
turned
stop
out,
yapping about
it
your
wouldn't
life and
even
let us
last
watch.
a year.
Oh my gosh, y'all can watch the original video if y'all want to watch. Why are y'all even watching me watch it? Just watch the original
One fateful
video.
day in September 2017, Sacred Redstone
Quit
came
yapping.
along and dropped something truly absurd. If the first 1y3x3 was the flint and steel that lit the TNT, and if Chris's record was the TNT bomber, then what Sacred was about to unveil was the orbital strike cannon.
Oh, that's tiny. Yo, that's tiny. Yo, Force taken. Thank you so much for the 10. What is that currency? Thank you so much for the
Sacred
10.
had just
Whatever
done
that
the
is.
unthinkable.
Thank you, bro.
A layout-sized 3x3, meaning that the redstone is the same size as the piston layout. 56 blocks. A size that people had only dreamed of.
So this is impossible to beat. This is literally impossible to beat because unless there's another way to collect to this block in the middle, then this piston has to be behind this other piston. So it's impossible to beat, right?
Less than 2 years earlier.
This is the record.
And it was now a reality.
Wait, I just thought of an insane
This kind
idea.
of accomplishment is basically the crown jewel for any door maker.
I just thought of an insane idea. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Oh, let me know if this counts as the record, guys. Okay. Okay. Here's how it works. Basically, it goes like this. Y'all see where I'm going? Y'all see where I'm going with this? Look at this, look at this, look at this. Yo, does anyone know how to make a flying machine? All right, you know what? I don't know how to build a flying machine. Okay, anyways, forget it. Imagine this. This is how it goes. The slime takes the wall away. The slime takes the wall away. And then there's no redstone at all. And then this is how it goes. The slime takes the wall away. The slime takes the wall away. And then there's no redstone at all. And then the slime can come back and put the door back. Hey, come on. Like, that was pretty smart. Is that good? Is that good? Y'all understand what I'm saying? It has to be 1 block thick, gang. Yeah, but guess what? Once the slime takes the dirt away, guess how many blocks thick it is? 0. 0 blocks thick. Why are you like this? Bro's on to nothing. How would that even work? Yo, I don't know. I'm not a redstone pro. Oh my god. And someone said I've ruined your day. That did not ruin your day. It was just an idea. I thought I was on to something, but whatever, bro. Look, bro. Look how much redstone there is on these. Mine will barely have any redstone, and it just takes the door away, and it's, boom, 0 blocks.
If you can make your door layout sized, then you can be very sure that no one is beating it anytime soon. And in Sacred's case, his record is probably one of the safest from being beaten.
Like, yo, look how much redstone there is. Mine would only have, like, 10 redstone, when this has, like, 30.
A whole year went by, and nobody could beat it. Then 2 years went by, and still nothing.
If there's a redstone update before the next beat, then this is not even a skilled game. This is just what's possible in Minecraft.
Then 3 years went by. Then 4 years. Then 5. Then 6. Then 7.
Don't say it.
And then almost 8. Now we've caught up to the present day. Just under 8 years later, Sacred still hasn't been beaten. This
Really,
door
guys?
is where the record breaking stopped. And for one simple reason.
Yeah, why did the record stop?
A door's minimum possible size is entirely determined by its piston layout. And as I mentioned earlier, this thing is layout sized. So it cannot get any smaller than this. Case closed. This old piston layout,
Bro,
which
mine
we've
would be
been using
smaller.
for over 11
Mine
years
would be
now,
smaller,
has
bruh.
given everything it
0.
possibly can. There are no further improvements that can be made to it. So, in situations like this, there's only one way to beat the record. Make a smaller layout. But of course, that's way easier said than done. The top door makers knew all too well that this was the only way to beat Sacred. So you can bet they tried. Many times. But none of them could make a smaller layout.
Yo, a lot of ideas are coming to my head right now. Like, I'm thinking of a lot of different ways to beat this. And I feel like if I spent time on it, bro, all jokes aside, I feel like there might be a chance that I could figure something out here.
Well, actually, that's not entirely true. Technically, they did. In fact, they've come up with not just one, but many candidates for the new smallest layout.
Okay, Purple, now I'm just confused. You just said that no one's made a smaller layout, and now you're saying that smaller layouts do exist? So which one is it? If there is a smaller layout, why has no one beaten Sacred's record? Surely someone would have seen these and pounced on the opportunity. Look, here, let me take over. I'm better at making blockumentaries anyway.
Well, Crafty, I was just getting to that part. Let me explain. You see, no one has actually used these layouts because they all have one massive glaring problem.
They're too long.
And it's a very simple one. They don't have space for the redstone. So they just don't.
Bro, no. Not true, bro. Dumb. Are you dumb? It goes too far out to the side. It's not even smaller.
Count. You only get to call your layout the smallest.
Oh, because they're counting the number of blocks that are on the outside. Okay, then never mind.
If you can verifiably prove it's possible to finish the door by, finishing it. And if you can't do that, then your layout isn't viable. So it's not just a matter of making a smaller layout, it's also a matter of making a smaller layout that's actually possible to wire, which adds yet another layer of difficulty to this already impossible task. And because of that, these two things have remained as the smallest layouts. They really have stood the test of time.
No way.
That is why Sacred's record has stood for so long.
Then why are there still 5 minutes left?
That is just how unimaginably difficult this thing is to beat. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the greatest redstone records ever. And so, as the years have gone by with no new 3x3 records, many redstoners, myself included, have started to think that this record is truly unbeatable. And justifiably so. With all the stuff I just talked about in mind, why would you even try?
Yo. Mods, can y'all time out every single person that's saying I'm muted? Please? Like, I'm obviously not muted. Like, I've been streaming for many years. Like, I know I'm not muted. Like, why are you guys saying that I'm muted? It's just not funny. Like, you're just ruining the chat. Nobody wants to see chat say, you're muted, bro. We can't hear you. Like, it's just not funny. You're just wasting everybody's time. The chat is just cancerous. There's no reason to even read chat when y'all are just saying I'm muted. Like, it's just so dumb. Why are y'all spamming that?
Anyone who did seemed like a fool who was simply wasting their time.
My Twitch chat is
This
spamming that I'm muted.
Wasn't a milestone.
But I'm obviously not.
It was the end. So when two redstoners called Quee and the appropriately named Doormaker decided they were going to try beating the record, they were the latest in a long line of attempts. Everyone before them had tried and ultimately failed. But little did we know that this time round, things would be different.
This has me getting hyped because I think I can beat this record. I could be, like, if he makes the part 2 to this video, I'll be the main character of the part 2. Like, I'm the guy that figured out how to make the redstone door smaller. Because I have these ideas that are coming in my head and I can try them out.
Because after a lot of work, they actually got somewhat close.
Quicks with the prime sub, thank you so much.
Not only did they come up with a new layout, but they successfully got the left side working, which up until this point was probably the closest anyone had ever got to beating Sacred. This was a start, but unfortunately, they could never get the other side working, and eventually, they ended up shelving the project to work on other things. But it wouldn't be long before another redstoner called Ganymede tried it. He also came fairly close, but again, couldn't quite get there, so he too shelved the project. But then one day, Sacred, the guy who already holds the record, stumbled across Ganymede's many attempts, and started to wonder if going below 56 blocks was actually possible. Ganymede thought so, so they decided to team up, and after a lot of messing around, they came up with yet another candidate for a smaller layout, and they thought this one was special, that it had the best chance of actually working out of all the other layouts that had been tried before.
Such a weird...
If anything was going to work,
like,
this would be it.
It looks so weird when the door opens.
Now they had some momentum, but Ganymede knew they would need help wiring it, and he also knew about
Hello, this is my first time using Twitch.
Attempts.
Welcome,
so he showed them their layout. Doormaker was very interested by this, so they recruited him onto their team. But before long, another redstoner called Brickcrafter saw what they were doing and revealed that he had also been trying to break the record, and that he had actually made that exact same piston layout weeks ago. So he joined the team too. Now they had a crack team.
Why do they need a team of 4 people?
It was like they had assembled the Redstone Avengers.
I want to see the leaderboard
finally
of this
beat
thing.
This record once and for all. And so they got to work. Over the next several days, they threw together many different prototypes. Some were promising, and others were dead ends. And as they were working away, word got around that they were going for the 3x3 record. So they had a little bit of an audience watching them.
Oh, wait. You know what I just realized? Slime blocks are not allowed, right? Bruh. Because all my ideas had slime blocks in it. Oh, bruh. Yeah, GG's, bro.
Even made a
All my ideas are gone. I need to think of something new. I mean, it could still, my idea that I had could still be possible, though. Like, could still be possible.
lounge area so they could have a first-class viewing experience. And eventually, after many hours
There's
of
a fireball
tedious
inside the
tinkering,
door?
the team cooked
What?
up this.
What is that? Is that a fireball? A dragon fireball. You have to have a dragon fireball inside the door. No way we're counting that. You're not allowed to have slime blocks, but you're allowed to have dragon fireballs. What happened?
They were so close. It was literally one move away. If they could just retract this single block, the record was theirs. It was the very last thing standing
Bro,
between
that's not even
them
close at all.
and the record. Just
Bro,
sitting there,
A block is
teasing
a big
them.
deal, bro.
They couldn't throw in the towel now. Not when they were practically staring the finishing line in the face. But unfortunately, no matter what they tried,
Okay,
there
I'm
simply
really confused
wasn't
about that
enough
dragon
room to fit
fireball.
the
Is that
last
actually a
move
dragon
in.
fireball?
So as close as they were,
How does that work?
they had no choice but to start all over again.
Yes, Luminous
Although
Green.
despite this setback, they kept on pushing.
Please do.
All these years, all these records, and all the countless advancements in Redstone had
Come
led
on.
up to this. It took 4 of
Please
the
don't tell
top
me it
door
requires the
makers to
dragon
pull this
fireball.
off. But many days later, it happened. I can scarcely believe I'm saying this, but somehow, some way, on July 11th, 2025, this seemingly
Okay, now
immortal
this is
world
actually where it
record
takes skill.
was finally beaten
Nothing changed in
by
Redstone.
1 block.
Why are there 1,000 minecarts? Why are there villagers? No, dragon fireball! You're lying! You're lying! Okay, this is skill. It's not just like a new Redstone update came out, but there's no way. This has to be a joke. It requires hopper minecarts, villagers, a dragon fireball. What else? Oh, bro. Yo. What? Do you have to wait for the villagers to throw each other food? Is that how it works? No, tell me how it works. I want to see how it works. You're not even gonna mention how that works. Let me just, I'm gonna look at the door and I'm gonna explain to you guys how it works. I'm gonna figure it out right now. I was here. You guys, this was probably beaten months ago. Like, we're probably late to the party. Okay, go back. So let's question how this thing works. This is what we need to figure out. And I want you all to put on your thinking caps for this as well. Because I maybe need your guys' help to explain some things. All right, so the question is, how does this door open? Well, great question. First, you press the button on this. What is that, a furnace? What is that? Is that a... Okay. Oh, I know what it is. Dispenser or dropper. So it drops the item up, and then the item transfers from one minecart with hoppers in it to the next. The item transfers. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea how that works. Oh, now I see. Look. Oh. Look. This button spawns a powdered snow. Right there. I'm not sure why it's powdered snow. I don't know if it would work with water too. But it spawns a powdered snow, and then the observers are like, oh, the block changed. So then it talks to the weighted gold pressure plate, which talks to this observer, which pushes that piston, pushes this piston. You know what? Why is there a furnace minecart? I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea how this works. I need to stop pretending like I do. What's the dragon fireball for, though? And how do you get that? You can't say that this counts as the record when you have a dragon fireball. How do you get a dragon fireball? If you can only get it with commands, then this whole thing is dumb. Bro, what if I write a command to just get rid of the blocks and then put the blocks back? Like, it's just, that makes no sense. That was a great video.